when you want something and you can't get it, and a pattern keeps reoccurring, that's an indication that there is something within you that is finding it a threat for you to have that thing you want. That's the part we've been like, we basically have in a cage. We're like, hell no, you are not coming out. You don't get to say a word. You do not get to contribute anything, because all you try to do is make my life difficult, right? And as dumb as that sounds, there could be emotional needs within us we are trying to overstep by getting the thing. So I found this one. Feel free to smash that like button already, because I know this video has been high value so far with this girl. Subscribe so you get more videos of this kind of high quality content. What's the real reason behind you wanting to sabotage yourself? Which can come in all different kinds of forms, right? Just like you get triggered when you try to look for a job. That's a form of sabotage. It feels uncontrollable, but it is that part of you sabotaging yourself. I've had this like really bad. You sit down, you try to work, you just can't, you know? So why are we doing things that actually seem like they're not for our highest good? It's because there's something inside trying to just call our attention to something that we need. This is getting crazy. You want to make money, but if there's a part inside who knows that you're doing it so that you don't heal the wound of you that doesn't want to need people, it won't let you do it. It's like, I'm not going into that life where there's nobody. What we gain when we onboard these parts of us who want the other thing, they're trying to sabotage us getting the main thing, right? Because they have another need that we are trying to ignore. So let's say you were abandoned when you were really little. They were in your life, everything was hunky-dory. Next thing you know, they're not there anymore. Your mind would have been like, oh, they're coming back soon. Oh, they're coming back soon. Holding out that hope for them to come back. And then they didn't. And then they had to come up with a reason why they left. Well, it must have been something about me. They didn't stay for me. So then there is this feeling that, well, I don't want to think about that. I don't matter. My dad leaving equals I don't matter. So let's not think about that, because that shame is a really painful thing to think about. Because now we have shame, because that's too painful. Every time I think about that rejection, I think this hole inside us somewhere that's like, you don't matter. It might really be hard for you to connect that what you're wanting, let's say in that example, is actually to be rescued. There's this holdout. You're wanting really desperately to correct this shame because it's like so painful to go around with all the time. Subconsciously, this correction is an obsession. So what happens when you're trying to find the resistance? What does that feel like? And then you play it out, play the fantasy out, because you're trying to, what I call, smoke out the resistance, bring it to the surface. When you visualize very strongly that you have the thing, and that's the hard thing to do, because our mind is kind of locked on don't even imagine it. Really try to imagine it, not as a positive visualization manifestation tool, but as a flush out the what's so bad about it tool. Does that make sense? That's really key. So let's say you do this in this example of the child who was left when they were 4. And then you find out, well, I don't know why, but it just feels like, I just feel like, and then you get these sensations that you get, like the shame or you just don't feel good, right? You know that it's a yucky feeling against yourself, within yourself. You've had it many times, and it starts to come up when you think about, let's say, day 5 of having the great income. Now, what's happening there is there's this idea that if I make the money that I need, I won't be rescued. It's a nail in the coffin from, as far as your inner child is concerned, dad coming home. Okay, that's one example. And so finding that cause, what I usually do is conceptualize the whole thing and think about it. Well, what would be one reason someone would sabotage themselves in this situation? Like a rabbit hole spider web mess. The only thing that finally lands me in the truth of what's going on is when I envision having the thing for long enough while asking this question, what could be so bad about this? So I want you to do that. I want you to, in your situation, what you're trying to change right now, think about what could be so bad about this. The problem is, because we have been yelling at that part our whole life, because, that part is trying to stop us from getting the great relationship, the great, income source, the great stuff. That part has been trying to get us, is basically standing in your way with its arms crossed. And I'm right now inviting you to talk to that part. Imagine how scary that is. That's the part we've been we basically have in a cage. We're like, hell no, you are not coming out. You don't get to say a word. You do not get to contribute anything, because all you try to do is make my life difficult. Right? How are you going to be able to talk to that part when, for the most part, you don't want to? Who does? We don't. You got to ease yourself slowly into it. And just the main thing that I would say to you is be aware that it's difficult. Don't think that it's easy. People say, oh, parts work. Just drop into the part that's in resistance. Just is like a 4-letter word. The mind is going to, although I do encourage you to do this on your own, or if you need help, links down below, you can reach out to me. The mind is going to try as hard as it can to keep this part walled off from your awareness. It will make you confused. It will make you not know. It will make you ask a lot of questions. It will make you go around and round in circles for years, not knowing what the resistance is, because it just wants dad to come home. It doesn't want you to make all that money. It doesn't want all this BS. It just wants dad to come home. Once that's all set, then okay, we can make the money. Then we can talk. But of course that doesn't ever happen. Why? Why doesn't dad come home? Well, dad doesn't come home. The reason for that is because the belief is the problem. The belief of I'm unworthy. I don't deserve my father is still stuck. So even if you have situations of dad coming home, it doesn't overturn for real that belief and that shame if it's happening on a subconscious level. If it happens on a conscious level, if you experience a dad coming home situation, and you're aware of this pattern in you, then you need to consciously look at it and almost make that choice to be done with the pattern. Otherwise, you won't accept the dad coming home. You won't accept it as that. You'll still look at that partner as if they're about to abandon you, and you still won't think you're deserving and worthy. So we need to anchor in our experiences, our growth experiences. We need to look at them. And we need to notice them. We need to highlight them in our mind. We need to go, aha, that is that old pattern changed. Okay, now let me anchor in the new belief system and feel that new belief system. Don't just look at the new situation and go, yay, I'm off the hook. Because you could look in and go, yeah, I still don't feel worthy. So back to the situation. So what do? So you envision the situation that you want fully until with the question of what could be so bad about this, until you land on something, one little string of a feeling, okay? And then what we want to make sure we do is be with that part. Parts work is a process to help us through something where we're stuck so we can annihilate the sabotage. But what it really is an opportunity to integrate. Integrate is a really nebulous word, I find, so I'm going to try not to use it. Where we can onboard more of ourselves. And in doing so, we accept more of ourselves. It's all about self-acceptance. I know I say this a lot. And there's definitely struggle with self-acceptance. And that's why I'm kind of on a mission about it. Because I've really examined it, and I love to share the tools with you guys. So when you're being there for that part, take some time before you go in off and fix the thing and look for the third option. Look for what do we need? What would I need as this part who wants dad to come home? What would I need? What would I need? well, I need this and that, X, Y, and Z, and then I can feel good about myself, and then we can get the thing, right? And then we can make the money, yay. But if you do that all on an intellectual level, it won't go away, because what has to happen, the real thing that has to happen, is your recognition inside yourself that goes, oh my God, I actually feel this way. How great it would be to have that. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to land on that, and then you're going to be like, no, but I can't have that. Notice that. Watch for that to come in. The resistance, allow yourself to be like, no. Like, this is a really delicate dance right here, right in this moment. This landing on, aha, oh my God, I actually feel this way. And then what happens next? You're so connected now. It's really delicate. It's like a sprout. You can't stomp on it or it'll be gone. And you have to like try to find it all over again. You want to connect into this part and shift into your meditation practice where you're an observer of your situation, not your situation. So key. So you're using different parts of your consciousness, different skills within your mind and being. Part of it is analytical. Part of it is curiosity. Okay, that's the first part. And then part of it is actual feeling. Okay, I'm going to like first person be this kid who's waiting for their dad. Okay, you kind of need to get into that headspace for a second so that you can believe it. You have to believe it. Because now you're like, oh my God. And it's like you come into yourself, you go, boom, you land into this awareness of your full self. That part of you who has been in a basement for so long has finally got recognition. And it's not over there, because you might then slam the door on them again. You might pop out, be like, oh, but there's no way I can actually get, and it's not going to work. So I don't even want to go there. Why? Because you're used to doing that. It's normal. That's okay. So just watch for these things. And if you can, get into that observer state for a moment after you felt, be there for this one who was in pain. Try this if you're working on something that is you're feeling really, 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 really stuck. And I hope you have a really awesome day. Stay magical.